So, welcome everybody. Another Meet the Speaker live today. I'm Fabian from Lean 42, and we are organizing a big conference, the Lean Leader Summit. It's taking place in Munich in about 2 weeks. And yeah, you'll find all information about the conference there. If you want to join, there are still some tickets left, some seats open. I think 5 or 6 tickets are still on the market, so you can still book your seat. Our Lean Leader Summit is about digital leaders. It has a strong focus on architecture, especially enterprise architecture, and also artificial intelligence and data play a role. So we have a huge agenda, some workshops on the first day on July the 3rd, and a very huge agenda, different tracks on July the 3rd. And from this agenda, today, Rasmus is joining me. Rasmus from Norlys. He's giving a talk at the conference, and today we'll get to know a little bit about him and about the topic he's presenting. So, Rasmus, glad you joined us.
Yeah,
I'll hand over to you for a short introduction.
Yes. So my name is Rasmus, and I am at Norlys. It's an integrated energy and telco business here in Denmark. My background is in tech. I'm an engineering background, been working as a software developer, solution architect, tech lead, and for the last bit more than a year, been enterprise architect here at Norlys, where my main focus is on our energy business and how that can then align with the rest we are also doing.
Okay, so just as you mentioned it already, it's a kind of combined company corporation. It's telco and energy. Yeah. Does this have any effect on your daily business? Is it more separated? Is it integrated? How does this work?
Yeah. So last year, we here in Norlys, we bought the Danish part of Telia. So there we also got mobile. So a big part of our work now is integrating the mobile business with our telco business, and at the same time then integrating with our energy business. So it's part of a group. So the company I'm part of is the service provider part, the one selling to private customers, B2B customers, selling energy and different telco products, internet, TV, also mobile subscriptions. We also have some of the core mobile network as well, and some coax network as well. But a huge part of what I do is also how do we align the energy and the telco architecture in this huge transformation we're doing with integrating mobile with telco business, and want to be one company, one Norlys towards everyone we are in contact with.
Yeah, first of all, you got your existing customers. For them, you got a new kind of product to sell. It's no longer energy. You can also sell them telco. And the other way around, maybe you get some additional customers. Yeah, but you said one interesting thing. It's a transformation. Yeah, it's not like integrate or have two kinds of businesses separate. So what kind of transformation is it exactly?
So it's everything that is going to be integrated, and in that sense also transformation from different parts of the business where they came from. So we have one organization with the mobile having one culture, one way of working, one operating model they were working with. We had another previously in Norlys. Now we're trying to integrate that together, and that also brings in a transformation for some of our old Norlys side of that was very heavy on the project organization, and a lot less on the lean part, like a digital and agile way of doing it. So we are trying to bring that in, and that's also what my talk is about, is how we, from an enterprise perspective, is helping to drive this push toward being more digital and more agile in the way of working, in the way we build software, and the way we just build new products, and the way our business is working.
Okay. Agility and versus project, more project related work is one thing. We'll talk about that right away. But you also said, okay, the transformation you are kind of doing, and you're working as an architect, especially as an enterprise architect. So not giving away all the insights from your upcoming talk, but what might be a key takeaway where you say, okay, in this merger, in this transformation, how did architecture or how does architecture help?
Yeah, so it's very broad in what we bring in from the architecture side. So what we bring in is the foundation. What technical components do we need in place to support the business strategy? And then how can we utilize these components and this foundation to also, when we build new teams and want to go towards a productized organization, how can we then see the different dependencies that those teams will have with that foundation, the technical foundation that we make. So that's how some of the key takeaways I want to bring in as well.
Okay, and then so you're kind of setting up or building the base or giving transparency, kind of whenever I encounter merge at one of our clients or something is maybe bought and more integrated, then you have kind of two bases, maybe a small one, a larger one, and so on, two technical bases, and then it's kind of elaborating what should stay, how to combine this to have more one base. I think this is also what you're doing, right? And
yes, that's a huge part. So it's also the balance between this, because when you have to make those decisions, some of it needs to be centralized to make a direction. It kind of goes against the agile way of thinking, and where we want to push out autonomy towards different teams and make them make decisions. So it's kind of balancing that, and that's where we as enterprise architects need to make the right decisions without being the bottlenecks in this huge transformation and integration, because there are so many different decisions and you can't be into every single detail on every single one of them. So you need to try and find the right level. And sometimes you do right, and other times you say, oh, we could have been deeper in this. So it's trying to find that balance.
You mentioned agility, agile ways of working, and maybe some versus some not so agile ways of working that came kind of together. That's at least what I understood. And if you think about agility, agile software development, things like that, how does enterprise architecture, or especially your work at Norlys, relate to that?
Yeah. So some of this is also helping create, again, the foundation, because if we want to be agile, we need a platform. We need everything around the development teams to be in place for them to move fast and actually make decisions without being delayed by infrastructure, without being delayed by different data requirements and integrations to that. We need the foundation around the teams in place to enable them to move fast. So that's a big part of what my stake is in the EA team as well, is trying to get our platforms integrated into this and to utilize the platform in the right way and build them up in the right way. We have a lot of different aspects as well, not just the way we work, but also the situation globally regarding, right now there's a talk about the hyperscalers using the Azure Cloud, AWS. How is that going to affect the way we actually build a platform that our development teams can use? And being within energy and telco, some of it is also classified as critical infrastructure. So that also would force some requirements, both regulatory and how we secure things, and how we might have things we are forced to have on premise and need some basis there. So how do you build a platform that can support all of this, and what steps do you do it? Because it doesn't just come overnight. It takes time. So you need to start the right places and make it provide some business value very fast. So that is the take we have on it, and from the EA side can bring into this with all the different requirements and needs and strategy we are involved in. We can see some of the places where this is where we should focus now to provide some value fast, and moving that as well towards a strategic direction. And sometimes it's you have to balance it. You need some short-term wins, but you also don't want to work against your long-term goal. So again, balancing all these things, all these elements is part of the EA.
So what you just said, the different topics you covered and balancing, it sounds like a little bit that the EA work you do is also kind of agile in some way. Would you say that, or
It's kind of what,
not?
sorry?
It's also kind of agile. The EA work you do, the enterprise architecture work you do, you're doing that also kind of an agile way. It sounds like that for me. So to say, okay, we have some short-term gains, we have some immediate benefit, and we have some long-term goals, and we do what's needed right now. And so sounds like kind of an agile way of working. So are you working in an agile way in enterprise architecture? Would you say that, or how would you phrase it?
I actually wouldn't say we are doing that right now. As I mentioned, it's a balance currently. So we have centralized a lot of the elements, and I'll also come into that on our talk. But we are trying to not stop the agile way of thinking and being able to actually make some short-term decisions as well. So we try to bring in the information from the solution architects that knows their area, and then make them come up with the best approach on how to do this, and then evaluate that in the broader perspective. So trying not to be a bottleneck in that sense, and then help steer the directions a bit. But I wouldn't say that we are working that agile yet, because there's so much going on that we are kind of centralizing it. So
okay, so kind of, maybe let's say you're kind of dynamic, you're delivering value, short-term, long-term, constantly delivering value, maybe not the agile way as you might found it's written in some books or so, not completely. Okay. When you think about the work you're currently doing, the merger you're supporting, maybe you can share some insight or some kind of topic where you would say this was something where enterprise architecture or you precisely struggled the most. What was the most difficult thing to do so far, or the thing where you had to do several approaches to get it done because it was really it was a struggle to achieve it?
So some of the things I can't talk about, of course.
Sure.
but where we
you are constantly successful. Which were the ones where you say, okay, they were also successful, but it was kind of taking more work to be successful?
I think it's our platform teams that are being successful right now, how we help push that out, how we help push our teams towards this platform without, or I'm saying pushed here, trying to create a pull towards the platform team, so the teams actually wants to utilize the platform. I think that is where we and our platform teams are the most successful in all this work we are doing right now. So that would be one success story. But a lot of the work right now is also on the part between our energy and our telco business, where we're gonna build shared components, where we're gonna be shared to begin with, and where are we not. So help steering that and guide that for us to create business value short term, and also on the long term, the strategic way, not locking ourselves down and going into the wrong direction there. So that is where in the future I hope we can see that we were successful in those choices. So some of it also we first see the actual outcome of it a year down the line.
So a little bit curious, is this one platform you're aiming for energy and telco, or will there be, I don't know if you can share it, but maybe you can give us some insight. Is it one platform with different products, or will it be more separate also in the future? What's kind of the target picture for this?
So we acknowledge that a telco business in the key systems is different from energy, for example. So there are key differences there where we cannot utilize the same systems. The systems you use to provision a connection is not the same as you use in telco. Is not the same as how you connect an EV charger and deliver electricity on that. So there are fundamental key differences down in the stacks. But we try to combine it on top of that, so everything towards our customers and a view across our customers and across the business and products. We try to consolidate on top, so we can provide a complete experience, and then integrating telco and energy, the products, who you are across these different stacks. So it's kind of on the upper part, the upper half, where we try to integrate it and then acknowledge the differences deep down.
Okay. Yeah, sounds rather reasonable. Yeah, and a customer-centric approach still, so that customers, yeah, they're your customer. Yeah, they can choose from different types of products, not only different individual products. And yeah, energy and telco are kind of different, of course, from a technical point of view. How to do this, how to provision it, as you said. Yeah, yeah.
So that's also there's difficulties in this. So how to the customer provide an integrated experience with different energy products that has one way to be configured and adjusted compared to telco and mobile products that have another way to be adjusted and configured. Providing an integrated experience on that on top is also a huge question, because we need a solid stack. We need solid fundamental energy products, and the same for the telco side. So it's also balancing that. When do we integrate and when do we focus on our core products differently? So it's again also a balance in that level that we are working with.
Okay. Good. So for everybody who's joining us, again, the information, Lean Leader Summit, July the 2nd, July the 3rd, on-site in Munich. Still very few seats left, so you can buy a ticket. I think there's some last chance thing out there with 50% discount. So yeah, don't hesitate. Go to Lean Leader Summit and have a look at the agenda. So regarding your talk, maybe some final insight you would like to share already today.
Yeah, I hope that I can also share the belief we have behind this approach. So actually, why are we doing this? So I've heard a lot of times people saying, "Oh, we want to be agile." We've tried it multiple times in different companies I've been at, and there have been pushback from the business towards this. But so I kind of want to talk into as well the underlying reason we're doing this and what we see we can achieve from this approach. So that's also something I'm happy to share. And then, of course, on the conference as well, I'm also looking very forward to many of the other talks. And especially there's also one I kind of want to mention here, because I find it very interesting and relatable to what I'm going to talk about, is from Dr. Thomas Meintrup, their approach that they have seen at Mercedes-Benz. I'm looking very forward to see that, and also relate that and have a talk with him.
Yeah, I think he will also share some valuable insights, what they've done, and also in a kind of a large scale, international scale, Mercedes being a big corporation. So yeah, I think that's it for today. Rasmus, thanks a lot for joining us today. Really looking forward to your talk at the conference, Enterprise Architecture. It will be about enterprise architecture, but it will be also an agile success story, I think, what I learned now. And I'm really looking forward to that, and then learning more about your experience and your insights. So thanks for everybody for joining us today, and see you. Have a nice day. Rasmus, thank you.